Question of the week. One of your subscribers was asking, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, you've been training for many years now, what, 15-ish years. How do you...
Since I was 15.
Since you were 15.
Later, bud. Yeah.
How do you keep yourself inspired or motivated to keep showing up after all of these years?
I think...
Or like, sort of, what's your perspective on that?
Right. To me, to me, it was the goal of just trying to emulate my coach, which was Lucas Supri. When I first seen him move, I'm like, what? I was like, what kind of jiu-jitsu is this? Like, what is this? Mm-hmm. So my goal was, I was like, I don't care if I'm a world champion or not. If I can do the things he does and be a good training partner and be all these things, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
So my goal is just being technically sound, top or bottom, and I noticed that big guys couldn't do that. So my goal was just to immerse myself in technique, not necessarily needing motivation to get there.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for motivation to get me to the goal. I was just focused on the goal. And obviously through that goal, in the process of reaching your goal, you're going to have, like we talked before, the third scenario, right?
Yeah.
Third of the time you feel amazing, hitting everything. Third of the time you feel so-so. Third of the time you feel like dog poop, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. The same thing, the guy from Sheepdog Response said motivation is like your morning coffee. It's like, it's there and you're pumped, and then as soon as it wears down, you're like, now what?
Yeah.
So that's why, going back to the whole, what I was telling you about Lucas and the initial inspiration that sparked something, like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
That's what it was, just initial, like, inspiration, like, I want to do that. I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. So I was like, I just want to be great at it. As many hours as I can to put into it. So my goal was set and my eyes were fixated on it, and I didn't deviate.
Yeah.
And I knew that there's going to be crappy days. I knew there was going to be amazing days. I knew there was going to be, all of those things. So I wasn't trying to focus on the negative of like, oh, I don't feel like going today. I knew it from playing sports. Like,
so even when you're not inspired and even when you're not motivated, you still
go
show up.
Because I was fixated on the goal.
Yeah.
And to accomplish the goal, you had to have a routine.
Yeah.
You had to have, like, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I can go 2-3 times a day and drill.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. Or Fridays I can only go once because I got family time. So I make sure that I stay for the 2 hours versus just one, just to get extra drilling in at the end of class. All of those things. So every chance I got, I put time into it because I knew the time was going to add up. So the motivation part was just something I wasn't dependent on. Mm-hmm. I was dependent on discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline and structure.
So not depending on, I feel good, so I'm going to train.
Yeah.
More like, this is something I need to do to accomplish my goal, so I'm going no matter
what, how I feel, no matter what the circumstances is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna post 7 inspirational quotes of somebody on the top of a hill in the Himalayas just to go to jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go, and whatever the outcome is just part of the third system, right?
Speaking of, of course, people come in and out of jiu-jitsu, people move away, they enjoy it, they feel inspired. Do you have like any experience, training people that maybe operate sort of more on that like motivated or inspired, or they got that spark, but then when it wears off, that maybe they fade out? Or, what's your experience with sort of training students that have that sort of mindset? Like, I train when I feel good, or I train when I feel inspired.
I think for the most part, those people are in it for the wrong reason. Just like anything else, like you get into it because you love to do something.
Yeah.
And for me, once I say, if I love something, I don't stop. It's just me. If I set a goal, I'm gonna do it, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
No matter how crappy I am with it. Like, Same thing with shooting. Ever since Sheepdog came, I got into shooting even more, and I since they came in June, how many? It's like
Freedom Friday.
Freedom Friday every Friday.
Yeah.
The only time we're not there on Friday at the range is when Ollie's busy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm there every day. Whether I'm by myself or with a group of guys.
And it's interesting because who else can say that?
Yeah.
You know?
So I fell in love with the art of being efficient, and just like this, it's a skill set.
Yeah.
So I immerse myself in it. That's just the way I am. I go 100% or I don't go because I don't want those excuses.
Yeah.
Similar to when people compete, it's like you either give 100% in training and preparation, or if you don't, you train lackadaisical, you're going to be like, oh, I could have done better if I would have trained.
Yeah.
Well, you're giving yourself an excuse,
Yeah,
a way out already.
Yeah, an out.
So it's the same thing with this. Most people that kind of fall off is that they kind of wanted to do it because their buddies were into it, but didn't really. A couple different things. They weren't really into it, or they're just lazy, or they love it and they can only show up once or twice a week because of life, like family, work. You know, there's people that have those.
Of course. Yeah.
But minus that, if people just fall off, it's just because it was all talk and not really. It wasn't really what they enjoyed
Like they were
doing.
operating on them feeling inspired or feeling good.
Or feeling motivated by their teammates.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't operating from a point of, like they weren't on the same frequency like as you.
Yeah.
You're a grappler since high school, like, and then once you found this, it was like you were all in.
Yeah.
You know, you're on the same frequency as almost everybody in here.
Yeah.
You know, but the people that, you know, kind of quit, they get the blue belt fever and fall off. They feel like they accomplished what they wanted, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you know,
if that's your goal, and
then that's cool.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to become a black belt and you quit after white or blue belt, like to me, it's just like you're selling yourself short. Like you're giving up on yourself. For me, I don't quit.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.